Well, hello there. It's Sunday afternoon and the sun's dipping down behind the buildings and starting to get a little bit chilly. We have a very clear sky, not a single cloud in the sky. So I think it's gonna be a frosty night, frosty morning. So Sarah will have to put our windscreen up, a windshield over not a windshield, one of those masky things that stops the frost from sticking to the windscreen. Yeah, oh, that was a lovely bike ride I did yesterday, and well, I've just finished editing all the little clips. Now, when I downloaded all the little clips this morning, the battery on this camera must have run out. Because it didn't download all the video clips. So I was a bit shocked to find that half of the videos that I'd made had disappeared. But fortunately I put a new battery in and tried a second time to see if there's any videos on the camera still. And yeah, there's a few more videos, which is good. So I managed to put out a second video out. Not that I meant to, didn't really mean to do a second. It was going to be just one video, but anyway, yeah, it was a lovely bike ride home in that wind. Like I said in the video I just put out, I asked Alexa what the weather was going to be like. I said, is it going to be sunny? She said yes. Is it going to be rainy? She said no. And then I said to her, what's the wind speed going to be like? And she said it's going to be 5.6 miles an hour, and it was going to be like that for the rest of the day. Like a fool, I believed her, and I went out, and unbeknownst to me, the wind was behind me. I didn't really notice what with the wind blowing, over the house. I was quite sheltered, so when I got onto the bike, I was travelling with the wind, and on my way up north, well, I had the wind right behind me, so no wonder I got there really quick. It was because I was being blown there by the wind. It's only when I stopped at my normal stop at Longriston for my little drink and a snack. That was about 8.5 miles to get there. But yeah, so I suddenly noticed, well, it's a bit windy. Anyway, yeah, I got to the Cattic, and I took my videos and then cycled home, and boy was that hard work. 20 miles an hour headwind. When you're doing 12 miles an hour, that's 32 mile an hour wind you're driving into, and of course some of the gusts must have been up to 40 miles an hour. I hope the wind's blowing this camera about, so hopefully the image will be pretty good. I put my neutral density filter on a tripod, just to try and make things a little bit better with this bright sunlight that's not here anymore. Yeah, anyway, so I hope you enjoyed today's little videos from Saturday's bike ride, and if the weather's pretty good next week, I might go out again. Yeah, one of the jobs, I heard back from one of the jobs that I applied for last week, and they said that I hadn't made the selection process. Not surprising really, because they were asking for all sorts of they wanted crisis management certificates and things like that. Well, I don't have those. I've never been on a hospital ship before and never been in a crisis situation. But then again, how are you going to get these certificates if you haven't had the experience or even employment to have the money to go and buy them? Yeah, anyway, so but I didn't get that job. The other couple of jobs that I've applied for was unsuccessful, but there must be so many people out there applying for jobs now. Yeah, anyway, but yeah, hopefully it won't be too cold during the week. I know we've had a warm spell, and yeah, the air pressure started to increase a couple of days ago, but according to my barometer, it's on its way down again, so it's going to get colder as the wind rushes in. Yes. But yeah, I was quite warm yesterday. I had 4 layers on top, and I had my shoes, my special cycling shoes with like a neoprene cuff to the ankles. That kept my feet really warm. I was really impressed with those. So I bought them last winter, but I never got around to using them because it just never happened. You know, I think I was, I was down in Falmouth last year and missed that part of the winter out, and I probably had COVID while I was down there. I don't know, as I wasn't tested. I mean, a few days later, when all the excuse me, when all the ship's crew came back in the new year, they all tested positive. So, if going by what the government guidelines were, if you tested positive within a 10-day period, you're more likely to test positive again. So, if I had have caught it and had have been tested, then you think I would have had it, wouldn't you? But I was tested on. Was it the 3rd or 4th of the new year, something like that, when they all came back and caught COVID? We all went off en masse to get tested, and I wasn't positive. So either I didn't have COVID, or it was a false test, or what, I don't know. But anyway, I was never tested positive for COVID. But yes, I didn't feel very well. I did when I was feeling ill on Christmas Day, Boxing Day. It was more like flu symptoms. You know, a mild case of the flu. I had a bit of a chesty cough when I woke up in the mornings, which, you know, I sometimes do anyway because of the asthma, and the asthma medication that I take makes me a bit chesty in the mornings. But anyway. So yeah, the following months after Christmas, I was looking for a job as well, and it's not been very good, has it, on the job front recently? Anyway, yeah, I wasn't really into bike riding in the cold then, so I didn't use my boots last winter. But now this year I managed to use them. I've used them twice now, and they're very, very good. I ought to do a video, a second review. I did an unboxing review, so now that I've used them, I can do a proper in-use review, I suppose. Like I said in my video as well, I had a bit of a creaking noise on my bike, and I think it might just be the headset bearing that needs re-greasing. Hopefully it just needs a re-grease, not new bearings. And I might do a little video on saddle tilt as well, because most people tend to, if they don't get on with the saddle, they go and buy a new saddle, and quite often the new saddle is just as bad as the old saddle, and it all comes down to saddle tilt. I should probably go into a big in-depth review on saddle tilt, because it's all to do with the sit bones, the way your pelvis, the bone structure in your pelvis has 2 points of contact on the saddle, and the soft fleshy bits at the front of your body that makes contact with the saddle is also a contact area. Now, if your saddle's tilting downwards, then you're going to get a lot of pain on your sit bones, and if the saddle's pointing upwards too much, you're going to get a pain in the soft fleshy tissue. So it's a balance between that. Well, I can show you how to do a balance, but the important thing is not to do it by eye. Use your phone, use a spirit level on your phone, and then you can accurately get the saddle in degrees. Right? So obviously if you start off flat, you work off at 1 degree up, 2 degrees up, 3 degrees up, until you find a sweet spot that doesn't cause you any pain. Anyway, it's not very warm out here. So I'm going to call it quits and go in and get myself a nice hot cup of tea. So I might do a tea review one day. We've got Yorkshire tea, and we've got a special brand of tea. I know it's not pizza, but I know I've seen a few pizza reviews, and it's quite interesting. Especially American pizzas. They look really tasty. Anyway, right, that's enough of me wandering on, wobbling on, random conversation. Anyway, right, I'll speak to you all later. See ya. Bye then.